I hate my webcam. I really do. Because I made a whole entire video response to this. And then I found out the mic wasn't on, so I had to unhook and rehook it. Anyway, I'm going to try and make this shorter than my rambling before. Hello, Miles. The question you asked is really tough. I'll admit that it's really tough. It's like, I was comparing it to when you have a book and all of a sudden you lose your patience and you decide you want to read the end to find out what happens in the end instead of actually reading through the whole entire thing. And I've done that plenty of times. But at the same time, when you do that, you cheat yourself out of a lot. And then you decide you don't want to read the rest because it seems pointless because you already know what's going to happen. Or even while you're reading the whole thing, all you keep thinking about is what's going to happen, and you're not thinking about the here and now, like what you're reading at that moment. And maybe that's what happens if you knew the exact answer of life. You're not going to think anymore about what's going on now, your personality now, your purpose and meaning at this moment. You're just going to think, well, this is what I'm here for. This is what's going to happen. I have to work towards that, and that's that. And I think you lose out on a lot if you knew that. And then I also thought this to myself, maybe the whole meaning of life is just discovering the meaning of life. Like, we have so much drive and just so much to like push us to discover this altogether meaning of life. You know, that's like our purpose right now. That maybe that's what it is. You know, something that's just so incredibly in front of us that we don't realize it's the meaning of life. Because maybe we don't want to realize it. You know, same thing if we were actually told straight out, this is the meaning of life and that's it. Like, would we completely believe it? I don't think I would completely believe it. I'd always keep doubting. Is it real? Is it not real? You know, it would just always be lingering in my head. Just like if you go to a psychic, you know, and you always have that little lingering, could it be real or could it be fake? Or, you know, you go back and forth. At least I do. You know. And even if you completely think it's BS, sometimes you gotta admit, you're gonna think for like a second, maybe it could be a little real. You know, especially if you're going there in the first place. It's because, I don't know. But I personally, at this moment, I wouldn't want to know it. I don't know what I would say at that. If it happened, I really don't know what I would say because I'd probably be in denial that they're even saying the truth to me. You know, but I really don't know what I would do in that situation. But as of this moment, I'd like to say I wouldn't look at it. Because, you know, as I've been getting older, like, I think more and more about things, about life, about myself, who I am, who I'm becoming, why I do certain things, how I act in public, how I act by myself, you know, how I act on the video cam. You know, just discovering who I am, you know, and trying to discover more and more who I am and my own little individual purpose in life. And, you know, of course I have my different theories about God and about Day of Judgment and the end and whatnot. And those are my theories. And then, you know, we all have our own individual theories. Even if people like to say there's a collective theory, everybody has their own personal spin on it. That's my own belief. But I like having my theory. I like editing it and fixing it and thinking about it and, you know, just trying to think about my own thoughts, other people's thoughts, and I enjoy that. And if I knew a definitive answer, you know, like, that's it, this is definitely the answer, like 2 + 2 = 4, and, you know, that's the answer, I wouldn't have that much joy in doing that anymore, because it'd be like, you add things around and switch it here and there for your own fiction, but at the same time, if you knew the definitive answer and the actual reality and actual fact, it wouldn't be as fun anymore, because it'd be like, well, I can always switch it around for my own fiction, but at the same time, this is what reality is, and no matter what I do, it's not going to affect that. I mean, of course, it could still be true that no matter what we do, it doesn't affect our outcome. But at the same time, it's kind of fun doing that. It's kind of fun thinking in that way that, you know, the way I act could affect my outcome later on. You know, the way I think about things could affect how I am. And in actual reality, we might not have any control over it, but at the same time, when you sit there and want to believe somebody else has control over everything, well, I mean, like when you want to believe that you have no control over anything at all, it takes the meaning out of doing anything, because then you don't want to do anything because it feels like somebody else is controlling you, and no matter what you do, nothing's going to have meaning. I don't know. That's kind of my spin on things. I could sit there and ramble on for an hour about it, but I don't know. It's a tough question, but I'm glad you brought it up because I like thinking about different philosophical things, and I don't know, I just feel like if you had a big answer like that, it would take all thought out of everything. You know, or all desire to think philosophically about anything. It would take that all away. Because you would have this big definitive answer and there would be no point in thinking about things differently. If I make sense, yay. If I don't, it's okay. My brain's like going in 50 billion different directions. So it makes sense in the head. Doesn't make sense anywhere else. But good question. Difficult, but good question. Goodbye.